Track inverts the densities on this inner core and flips the script on what you might have expected a parallelized version of the Criterion to be. Hey team, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian, core design engineer with Brunswick Bowling, and today I get to talk to you guys about the brand new Criterion inverse from Track and all the detailed information on the new Criterion ID core, along with the new cover stock that we wrapped around this one. So before we do that, what I'm going to do is talk to you about some of the videos that I've made on my channel. We have a video for the brand new Brunswick Alert, detailing all the core and cover information and when to use that ball, as well as some shorts on my shorts tab that are coming right up that detail all the information on the releases that I did not make a long form core video on. Those are available on my YouTube shorts page, and they will be coming out shortly after this video drops for you guys, so that you have all the detailed information on all the new October releases that are in pro shops sooner than you think. Now we're going to talk about the new Criterion inverse, and we're going to start right here with the core. We actually have a lot to talk about on this one, so this video I'm going to try to keep it as short as possible, but you know I like to hear my own voice. The Criterion ID core is new. It is the same shape though as the Criterion MD core that was found in the previous two Criterion balls. The difference with this one is, even though the volumes and pieces are the same for this core, the densities have been flipped. Meaning the density that was in the core body is now in the inner band, and the density that was in the inner band is now in the core body. Now, interestingly, with the original Criterion MD for multi-density core, that one had a higher density in the core body material and the band was actually lighter. And what that did is it gave this core, even though it's a relatively cylindrical shaped core, it gave it more of an hourglass effect because the highest concentration of mass was on the top and the bottom, effectively the poles of this core, where the lighter inner core density was in the band in the middle. So what that does in effect is give you kind of an increased moment of inertia situation when the core is revolving. That top and bottom inner core piece is going to have a little more mass to quote unquote throw around. So that's an increased torquing effect on that high differential core. Remember, this core was 250, nice medium revving core, 052 in total differential, and 018 in intermediate differential. So very high flaring and a relative sharp response in terms of the intermediate diff's contribution to shortening up that hook window. Now with the inverted dimensions, we've got the higher concentration of mass in the band. That is the brownish gold that you see sticking out through there. And actually this is an entire inner core body piece. It's not just the little wings. We'll cut that away and show you right here. And the lighter density, now the black, is the inverted density, the lighter density around the outside. So in effect what this does, since the lighter density is on the poles, top and bottom, that means that effectively there's less mass at the top and bottom and more mass concentrated in the center. This lowers the RG just the slightest amount, but since the whole system, the flip block, the inner core body, the outer core, and everything added all together, still relatively the same volume inner core, and since the two pieces, the mid-band and the core body, are kind of canceling in terms of total volume, the total volumes are very, very close to equal in each of these. This multi-density core now has more mass concentration in the center, but the RG stays relatively stable at 2496, so barely any drop in RG. This is still going to be a medium revving core, but since all the concentration of mass is now closer to the center of mass and in the band as opposed to the poles of the core, then that means that we've got a little less total height, or a little less effective height in this core. And when you drop the height of a core, you also reduce the total differential. That just means that the height of the core and the width of the core are more similar to one another. The total differential is lower, and thus the flare potential is lower. At 047 total differential and 016 intermediate differential, this one is going to be noticeably less flaring, and just a little bit of less intermediate diff means that it's going to give you just a slightly smoother response to friction. So that is the Criterion ID core, ID for inverse density or inverted density core. Now, interestingly, we did pair this one with the HK22C Super Response Pearlized cover stock. Not only is this our clean and sharp HK22 base that does have cohesion in it, cohesion that helps the ball slow down and change direction at the back of the lane, but Super Response Additive Package is the strongest additive package that Track has had to date in any of their cover stocks. So this is a pearlized version of their strongest cover blend, but now going to be paired with a medium revving and more medium differential asymmetrical core. What that's going to give you is a ball that reads the mid lane securely due to the intermediate differential, but also gets through the fronts very cleanly due to the pearlized cover stock, the compound finish, and also the lower differential, which means it's not flaring quite as aggressively in the early mid lane or the front part of the lane. Pairing that with prime response means that it's going to go crazy on the back of the lane, but interestingly, the more subdued core numbers mean that this one isn't quite as jerky or as whippy as pairing it with the MD core would be. So the ID core, the inverse density core, a little more tamer, more mellow back end reaction on the back of the lane, and that pairs really nicely as a complement to this pearlized cover stock formula, because a pearlized cover with a maxed out flare potential and a real high asymmetric intermediate differential could result in a ball that is very whippy but also a little skid flippy in a way that might be uncontrollable or unusable. You might need a lot of back end friction and a lot of head oil in order to get in and send that one away, whereas this one I think has a lot more utility on a wider range of conditions than a high flaring asymmetrical pearl might have. So an interesting and unexpected way to build some versatility into the Criterion line without everything going completely dead left sideways on you. That means you can use this one in early transition. You don't have to necessarily wait till they're really opened up and you have to get in and send it. You can use more moderate launch angles with this one without having to be so far left for right-handed bowlers. And you have a more predictable back end motion, but it doesn't lack for punch. Don't let me fool you into thinking that this is a smooth ball by any stretch of the imagination. We just reviewed how absolutely strong this cover stock is down lane. So this one is, to my eye, still in the skid flip category of ball motion, but it's gonna be more of a late mid lane hard arcing ball motion if we were to really pinpoint the nuances of it. This one isn't gonna be as whippy down lane as maybe a Theorem or a Theorem Pearl is. It's gonna be a little earlier, more secure in the mid lane, similar total hook and just a little more blended reaction from front to back, but still plenty of entry angle to get you through the pins with great carry, and your ability to open up the angle as the pattern transitions does not lack because of the strength of the cover down lane. So this one should be good for early transition. I wouldn't use it on fresh conditions. There's plenty of good balls in the Track lineup for that, such as the Paragon Shadow, the original Criterion, and maybe even the Criterion Hybrid, even though that one is a little more erratic because of how strong the cover is and how strong the core pairing is with it. So those are going to be the balls that you're going to use ahead of this one, and then you can easily step into this one as an early transition piece. This to me would be a number 2 ball after whichever ball in the Track lineup you choose to be your number 1 ball. You could even pair this one with a stealth mode, and the stealth mode could be a smoother yet weaker option that you play with a little further outside, and then take a step left into this Criterion Inverse. So that's all the information I have about this Criterion Inverse, a really unique take on a pearlized bowling ball. The cylindrical shape and the multi-density nature of this MD certainly separates it from the Theorem series, gives it a nice complement, and slots it neatly in the middle of the arsenal in the Track lineup. If you have any questions about this Criterion Inverse, the Criterion multi-density inner core, or any questions about your personal arsenal, how this might fit into your personal arsenal, or any questions about the Track lineup in general, feel free to drop a comment below. I am happy to respond when I have time. Make sure you're checking back often. If there's a new core in the Brains of Brunswick lineup, you know I'm going to do a long form video like this to detail all the information about that. And if we're putting a new cover stock around an existing tried and true core in the Brunswick lineup, then make sure you check my shorts tab where I'll be doing short 1-minute reviews about those balls as well. If you have any questions, feel free to drop a comment below, and until next time, I will see you in the next video.